All right, we are live. Three, two, one, 1, 2, 3. Welcome, everyone. It's Colo's stream. Actually, you guys saw first two of our podcasts. I hope you actually like them. And today we have this testing format where we actually testing out how the live podcast is gonna actually look like. And today I have amazing Quinten here with me. Quinten is the biggest expert of all the experts in crypto. I met Quinten back in Dubai on Cointelegraph's event, and I was really surprised how much this guy knows about crypto. So, with all the current news and with all the thing that is happening on the market, I thought that you, Quinten, is the best option to have a conversation right now. So, can you just, say a couple of words before more people joining the stream and we can actually start with our concrete conversation?
First of all, thanks for having me. Very excited to be here and to be the first guest on the live stream podcast. It's pretty cool. So, about myself. I started in crypto in 2017 full time. I actually started in
2017.
2016
So
and just.
it's already how many? It's like 8
I
years in
don't, I
crypto?
don't even know anymore. I don't want to know.
Man.
It's nearly 8 years actually. I started my YouTube channel back in April 2017, and
Wow.
actually a few months later I could do it professionally already because I was one of the first crypto YouTubers. But then in 2021 I switched to X, and actually I liked that a lot more. And then in the meantime I also wrote the best-selling Dutch book on crypto. I co-founded weRate, which is a Web3 startup that is some kind of, let's say, TripAdvisor of Web3. I do some advisory. I also advise the Belgian government and the European Union governments on crypto. And I did some more stuff, but that's the most important things.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a very, very huge background story. And actually, yeah, I think that right now we're already 2 minutes past and we can actually start with our conversation. So, all the listeners who are not here, it's your fault. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, like Quentin, actually, I have kind of more deep questions about your past and, how you actually joined this market. So, at first, your Twitter ad says 048. And I was curious since the first moment when I saw you on Twitter and I followed you, what does 048 actually mean? So maybe you can kind of open up the curtain and tell us what this 048 stands for.
It's actually an ENS number, sorry, Ethereum name service that I bought. So basically, you can connect your wallets to that, and you can buy it. And of course, the lower the number, the more expensive it is. Kind of like Dubai license plates, but then for crypto addresses, basically. But it's not only like you can connect your Ethereum wallet to it, your Bitcoin wallet, with other wallets as well. You can build a website on it. You can actually do like a lot of let's say Web3 identity. But I bought it, I think, back in 2021. And it's not super popular anymore, but I just kept on wearing it
Hmm.
with pride. So I think it's coming back, by the way. Like the floor prices of the ENS numbers are rising again, especially the 3 digits. So I'm still confident that we go back to 2021 levels. So yeah, that's actually what it is.
Wow, that's amazing. It actually shows how OG you are because, it's some kind of thing from the past. And it actually, proves your expertise in the entire market. That's amazing. All right. And, you already mentioned that you started in 2017 from your own YouTube channel. And, I always ask this question to the people who I'm talking to and to all my crypto bros and so on and so forth. Because, I'm myself very, very interested in how people getting this trust to crypto because I personally was extremely skeptical at the beginning. I was the biggest conservative guy ever that you can ever imagine. And like before I met one guy, I was like super suspicious and very very critical about crypto. So, what was your first thing that actually made you say, "Okay, I need to pay attention to this thing like it actually worth something?"
That's a really interesting question, actually. I came from a very similar background. I was also like super conservative and skeptical in the beginning. So basically, I started investing in stocks when I was 16 years old, and then when I was 21, I started my YouTube channel. So yeah, the months before that, I started investing, of course. but yeah, I mean, what made me believe in crypto, I think I just, in the beginning, I was very skeptical. And the more and more research that I did, the more I had the feeling like I'm really onto something here, something that can revolutionize both how data is handled, and I'm referred to blockchain technology, of course, but also like revolutionize the financial industry, because financial industry was technology-wise not really innovated in the past, let's say 40, 50 years, while all the rest has been like seen great innovation. But yeah, so I just started doing more and more research and got more and more interested in it. Decided to buy like Bitcoin first, and I found out about Ethereum. So I got deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. Beginning of the end of 2016, that was actually. So I think that is mainly the thing, and also because I had the feeling like nobody knows about this. This was like a
Mhm.
really weird feeling, like you're onto something that could potentially be really big, but on the other hand, there was nobody, absolutely nobody, that was doing crypto back in 2016, or at least not in my surroundings or so. And you only heard like negative things about it. But I thought like,
Yeah,
these negative
everyone's like,
things.
"What is this Bitcoin? What is this all about? It's all scam.
Yeah,
Like, you people are weird. You better go buy some ETFs." And nobody knew back then that there's gonna be ETF on the Bitcoin, right?
exactly. And I think most people that were critical, still actually today, who are voicing a critical voice, or having a critical voice about crypto, are people who are stuck in what I call the 2013 mindset. That was the Silk Road and so on, that gave it like this bad image, like the problems with ecological things, the problems with criminality and so on. All these things are debunked already, but people are still like stuck in there. And I think like back in 2016, 2017 was already the case. And actually today there are still some people who are stuck in that mindset, but it's an entirely different industry compared to 2013 and compared to when I started end of 2016 and then full time 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, I see, I see. And didn't it feel like, some kind of CIA agent or something like that, being, this conspiracy guy who doing some, like unknown financial activities, coming with the money here and there. It's all being decentralized, being kind of, spy agent.
Yeah, true.
Because yeah, because for me at the beginning, all the crypto bros were looking like either some stupid idiots or somebody who's being this hacker sitting in front of a computer 24/7,
Yeah.
trying to hack the Pentagon and stuff like that.
Exactly. It was like the either it was like the nerds or a bit of the weirdo vibe. But that actually the funny thing is, Demetrius, that I researched older technologies back in that period as well. And what I found was that like every technology starts with these nerds and
Yeah,
weirdos, and then criminals, of course, because
yeah,
it's a new technology. Governments have no control over it. Then the nerds are interested because it's technological advancement, and then some weirdos that are like conspiracy, anti-government guys. You have like these three groups, and they were like present end of 2016, and I was like, damn, this is it. This will
yeah.
be big because these guys are on here.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and when you see that a lot of nerds and weirdos are there, you mean like, okay, probably something big is gonna happen from it. And yeah, and when it
Exactly.
comes to criminals, like mentioning the Silk Road case and all the stuff, like at the beginning, no government or control in here. Nobody actually understands what is happening here. Of course, criminals gonna be here, but it's part of a process. At the beginning, like we're looking back in the historical time, everything that was cutting edge and new, criminals were right here, right there, because until everyone understands what's going on here, they can get some kind of leverage from it. And yeah, I'm like very thankful that right now we live in a time where government is already putting their hands on crypto, and like we're getting more and more regulated, just because like no bad cases, no criminal injection and stuff like that is gonna be happening no more.
Exactly. Well said.
All right. And the final question at this part is like to all the listeners who are here right now, why should we trust you? Like, what would you say is like the biggest pro side of your expertise? Like, why can we consider you as the guy who actually knows what is happening on the market?
First of all, I want to say like nobody should trust me, and you should trust you should trust nobody in crypto. To be fair.
And big letters, Dior, Dior,
Yeah. Do
Dior,
your own
Dior.
research. Please put the banner in here right now. It's not
And
possible
not
otherwise.
a financial advice, of course.
Yeah.
No, guys, nothing in this stream is a financial advice.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So first of all, actually, I mean that. Like, nobody should. I don't want to sell myself as someone people should trust. I mean, just do your own research. Like, check my Twitter, and if you think I post good stuff, then you can trust me. If you think I post garbage, then don't trust me. All
That's
good for me. But my main expertise, I would say, is like macroeconomics, specifically Bitcoin. It's what I focus on, and the market cycles. Like, I think that is one of the things that really I'm pretty spot on about, like last few cycles. So that's about something I'm pretty proud of. Even in my book, for example, I wrote that in 2019. I predicted the top, which is actually black and white in my book. So I don't try to sell me too much, myself too much. But I predicted like the cycle top to be between 65,000 and 75,000, the top of 21. So it was 69,000. So literally what I thought it would be, and the time period was also like pretty spot on. So like cycle analysis is something that I'm really interested in, but also together with the psychology behind it, the sentiment behind it, because it's like my third bull market right now, or my third full cycle. I think I'm pretty decent at having like a combined feeling of different factors, or like different factors that give me like a certain feeling about where we are, where we will end up, etc. So I would say that is mainly my expertise. Yeah.
All right, all right. That's awesome. And we actually got to talk a little bit more about a cycle, about a Bitcoin in the coming questions. But right now, let's focus on the thing that everyone is talking about. People are catching FOMO from all over. Like, I heard this phrase so many times. Like, why was I sleeping at 4 a.m. in the morning when Trump has launched his coin? Like, I'm getting such big FOMO. Like, why didn't I invest at the beginning? I could become a millionaire and blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, what do you think was the biggest result of Trump launching his meme token? And like it's the actually very revolutionary thing for entire market. Could you imagine, like, even like a couple of months ago, that the president of the United States of America is actually going to launch his own meme coin, and then launching the meme coin for his wife? Like, when I was checking the news, I was on Next 24/7, just reading all about it. And I was shocked, man. I couldn't believe that we live in this kind of crazy time. And so, what do you think is the like result of this thing that we already can see? And what do you think it's gonna lead the market in the future?
Yeah, I think you're spot on with saying that it's a crazy time that we live in, that we cannot imagine where we. I mean, like, if we go back years or even just a few months, we could never imagine this to happen. But I personally really don't like that. And what I think, uh, let me just take it a little bit broader, because of course this thing as a whole is really crazy, but it really pulled all the liquidity from the market, and it already did not have lots of liquidity in the market, and it funneled all that to the Trump meme token. We saw that, like, everything went down, everything was like sucked empty basically to put into Trump, all the liquidity. But I think what it shows, the deeper mechanic that it shows, is that meme coins are basically doing this already for a year, and now it's just very visible because it's Trump, something that
Mhm.
overnight went to a fully diluted value of like $70 billion. But actually, this has been going on for a year now. So basically, meme coins were the center of attention, and they were sucking out all the liquidity out of the utility tokens and other altcoins, and just transferring it to meme coins. But then there's another mechanic, because these meme coins, basically, most of them are made to enrich the people who launched that meme coin, basically.
Yeah.
So which mechanic you have is like that all the liquidity that has been divided over everything flows to one meme coin, or like a few meme coins, and it flows to a very select group of people. So
Yeah.
basically, it's some kind of fucking pyramid. Sorry for my word, but it's some
Yeah, I actually agree with
kind
you.
of
Like,
pyramid.
in this topic, like, I personally saw it myself. I remember last cycle when all the people were so enthusiastic about the market, and everyone was like, all right, have you seen this altcoin? This project is bringing this or that kind of technology. They solving XYZ problem and so on and so forth. This market is like, oh, have you seen there's a frog
Yes,
on the picture? I like it.
yeah. It
And
becomes
and
it becomes
and
brain
this
dead,
is
right?
crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
actually, like, I also feel like, the liquidity from the market is just being washed. Like, it's just a tool to get some of the meme coin launchers get their generational wealth while,
Yeah.
just sucking out the money from the market. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, you said it kind of correctly. Like, I still kind of see, the entire crypto market as a big gambling market, just because right now, like, in generally, like, financial stuff, like, trading stocks or everything at some point of time is, a part of gambling. You never know what's actually going to happen. But here they put it to absolute. Like, if
Yeah.
before we could saw that, the project has the strong team, they have, very cutting edge technology, they like L2s, I don't know, DeFi projects, some LSTs and so on and so forth. That was like, all right, I see the value behind it. I understand how it's actually gonna flip the switch in the future, and it's gonna be something. Right now, it just, okay, I love the ticker. I love that it's funny. I love the meme that is standing behind it. Haha. I can put some money in that and expect it to go up. And I just hope so. And
Yeah.
the entire meme coin analysis, I've been talking to a bunch of dudes who, like, trying to put them as, professional meme coin traders. And at this time, they just like, they just gamblers. It's the same stuff as, just opening your like crypto or non-crypto gambling platform and just, play around there. And what do you think about it? Like, do you think it's some kind of portion of gambling in there, or it's all about strategy and then you actually can earn some money on meme coins?
Is this a serious question, Dimitri? A rhetorical question? No, I mean it's pure gambling, man. Um, but it's also like it has to do with that people just don't want to put in the effort anymore to understand the really good utility projects who are bringing technological advancement. They just want to have the most brain dead stuff that they don't need to think about what is this. They just need to ape in, and that is exactly what meme coins are. There is no like 90% of the times there is no concept behind it or nothing technological even. So basically, what it's doing is it's just a mechanism um, to enrich a few people in this industry, and especially like influencers also outside of whatever kind of influencers they are. Even like I call the president of the United States, Trump, is also an influencer. He has like huge
Right,
influence, of
exactly.
course. So it's the best way ever to monetize your influence. And that is what people now understand, but that's also the dangerous part of it, because they're bringing zero value, but they just suck away all the money out of the pockets of people who follow them. And you have this every few days. Like Trump was, of course, like the biggest example that we ever seen in meme coins, but this happens on every scale. And we saw it, for example, with the Hawk 2 girl
Yeah.
who took out like 20 million or so from her meme coin that she just launched. This is just monetizing influence and taking like basically stealing money from your followers, transferring to your own pockets and bringing zero value. That's basically what meme coins are. Of course, there are a few exceptions. There are a few meme coins that actually do something and that have like good intentions, but I mean, like 99.99% of the meme coins is just garbage, and that is the only incentive that there is for the founders of that project, is to just take away the money from their followers, unfortunately. So basically all the money gets away from the crypto, from all different altcoins, go to the meme coin projects, and they go to a few people on top of that, and they monetize big time. And it's yeah, I don't
Yeah,
like it.
that's true. That's true. But of course, there is still a part that we need to mention, that at this point, when the meme is growing, it's basically like a pyramid scheme. Like, when it's growing, when more and more
Yeah,
people buying it, there is an opportunity to actually earn something. Just because if you bought it on the deep and then you're selling it on the top, of course you're gonna earn some money. But what is the percentage? Like, what's the success rate on this meme coin trading? And this is like the biggest concern. So yeah, to all our listeners, like, meme coin trading is fun, but be very, very, like, careful with that. And all right, and what about Trump? Because like, I don't feel like Trump's coin is actually the meme coin. Because I've heard a bunch of theories about it, but right now, like, from what I personally see, that it could be even like different political instrument in their hands. Like, with the token, with the actual money manipulation that is happening around, it's one of the how can I say it? It's like part of their presidential pitch is part of how you're becoming, successful as the influencer and putting the seed to people's mind. And so, do you feel like there are going to be more and more political meme coins in the upcoming future? And will other presidents and, just governmental guys going to be taking over this type of structure and this type of method of, promoting themselves?
I think so. I think so. I think we only saw the very beginning of this, but the main difference is such a trick as what Trump did will only happen once. We won't see the same reaction from the market when, for example, let's say the second biggest leader in the world, Xi Jinping from China, for example, if he launches his own meme coin, then we won't see it going towards 70 billion valuation because people learn. And the first time you see something like this, in this case, Trump, like, oh wow, the most powerful person in the world launches a meme coin. The next one, the second biggest, most powerful guy in the world, yeah, he will get less enthusiasm, and then it goes down over time. But I think, again, I think it's the best way right now to monetize influence, and more people will do it, and that's a problem. So yeah, either the Trump token will get any value. I don't think so. I think this will just die slowly. It will probably stay at a certain level, but yeah, it will probably just enrich the Trump family, and for the rest, it will make all the other people poorer.
Yeah, actually, and I was also thinking about it, but doesn't it feel like, a very stupid move from Trump's side if they just gonna, get some liquidity from it, make themselves more rich, and that's it? Because, like when I was thinking before the inauguration part, like before he took over the president's chair, I thought, I have many different thoughts about like, all right, if it's Trump, it's already like, pumped up. Then it kind of dropped down. And I was expecting on the day when the announcement of president was happening that, they're going to bring way more liquidity into it and make another greenish candle that is going to skyrocket. But it actually didn't happen. So, like right now, I'm kind of curious, is it going to be like, meme based structure, how it actually usually is on the market? Or the president is actually going to have something way more advanced in the future and implement this token into some political strategies and so on and so forth? Like, what do you think?
Um, well, first of all, I think we need to mention that there are three Trump tokens now. Like you have the main Trump token, you have the Melania token that you mentioned as well, but then you also have like World Liberty Finance token,
Yeah.
it's WLFI. They're still selling that, which they will also raise, I think, if I'm not wrong, like $300 million or so that they're going to raise for that. And they were actually like sold out, and then after 3 months, by the way, they did a token sale which took 3 months for World Liberty Finance, and then it was finally sold out, and then they announced like, okay, we will add another bunch of tokens because of the overwhelming success. I mean, the token sale took 3 months, man. And then
Yeah.
they sold out, and they just they doubled the amount, the price, they tripled, and the amount that they already raised, which was 150 million, if I'm not wrong, they raised another 150 million because of the overall. I mean, like it's very unethical, to be very fair. But to come to your question, I think if there is a token that they will rather have some utility for, then it will probably be like the World Liberty Finance token, rather than the Trump token, which I think, I don't know like what the purpose of that is going to be. But yeah, I mean, behind the World Liberty Finance is actually a DeFi project. So yeah, I think
So
that is the most likely scenario, and that's also a Trump token. So what the purpose of Trump is going to be, the token itself, I don't know. I don't know, to be
yeah,
honest.
we will see. We
Yeah.
will see. But I'm personally like, very bullishing on the fact that Trump has extremely intelligent team around him right now. And one of the smartest people are supporting Trump and like coming alongside with him right now. And I'm just trying to believe in the best. So I would personally expect them to kind of inflow all of these tokens into the US economy, into supporting people, into somehow making our lives better. So let's sync up in 1 year and see what actually going to happen with them. But I will be very, very dissatisfied if it's not going to work out. So Let's check it out. And let's touch another topic that is, very, very close to Trump token and Solana, like entire Solana ecosystem, Solana as a token. What do you think of what is Solana doing right now? Are they taking over the market? Is Solana the new Ethereum, or we're coming close to Solana's crash right now?
Well, I think Solana is definitely here to stay, and it has earned its place in the markets. Whether it will take over the place of Ethereum, we see Ethereum bleeding a lot, like already for years.
My
Both,
Ethereum
both
wallets are like, they are not making me happy. Not at all.
exactly, like it's really doing bad. Not only price wise, like everyone's Ethereum holdings are really underperforming the rest of
Yeah.
the market, but also if you look at developer activity, if you look at applications being launched, and just overall transaction fees and so on, you see that it's going down, 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 and like you see Solana and Sui now as well, really going up. So yes, I think Solana is taking over, but if it really will flip Ethereum in terms of like everything of ecosystem in general, market cap and so on, let's see about that. I don't dare to say that, because I also think, on the other hand, that the run of Solana is, or the main activity that is happening on Solana is two things. First of all, meme coins. That is the main thing that is going on
Mhm.
Solana, and then the second thing
Yeah.
is, of course, like NFTs. So I think like when the meme coin hype is done, which I think actually this year we will see more focus on utility tokens, because meme coins had their run. Most people are completely wrecked in meme coins. They want to stay away
Yeah.
from it for now. So I think that's really going to be a dynamic. Like, okay, no more meme coins. Sorry, let's look at the good stuff now. But I don't know like what the effect of that switch will be on Solana. I rather think that Solana will cool down. The activity will not keep on rising, and I think more activity will go back to Ethereum, because of the nature of utility tokens, and because older utility projects are all based or all built on Ethereum. So it would make sense that a part of that goes back to Ethereum. But again, I think Solana really deserved its place in this industry. It will stay. There is a lot of other non-meme coin projects being built on it, but I don't see it flipping Ethereum immediately now.
Yeah, I also think so. Like, don't you have this persuasion that Ethereum, like, if Bitcoin is the digital gold, Ethereum is the digital silver?
That's what they say from the very beginning, right? I mean, like they also said about the Litecoin for some time. For the very early days, they said that. But yeah, I mean, it has ETFs. We cannot forget that
Yeah.
it has like spot ETFs in the US, and once you have that, then you're normally not going away anymore. Let's say if the big players are in, if a BlackRock is in, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, like there is no step back.
no, there is no step back. I agree. So yeah.
And what do you think is the future of Solana? Because like right now, even in Poland, I was in the event from Super Team a couple of days ago, and Solana is exploring fast, man. Like they are literally everywhere. I saw Solana founder like a week ago or something had this huge saying in media that the next $1 billion project will be built on Solana, and Solana is one of the most bullishing ecosystems right now with the entire hype that Trump brought to them. Like, do you think it actually gonna happen and the next crypto unicorn will be built on Solana, or it's more of saying than of acting?
I think the chances are the highest that it will happen on Solana, because also like the way that the ecosystem supports each other, exactly what you say about Super Team Poland and so on, all these super teams, all these things that Solana is organizing, you feel like this ecosystem is really sticking together. They're helping each other. There's like some people just stick together there. While I have the
Mhm.
feeling that Ethereum, we see that right now with the internal conflicts of Ethereum, we see that there's a lot less helping each other. There's a lot more disagreements. There's not really stuff going on, such as in the Solana ecosystem with super teams, with founders villas, and you name it. And we noticed that as well because, like I said, I'm co-founder of weRate, and we're building on Solana as well. And my other co-founder, CEO Brecht, he's now in Bali in this. I forgot the name of it, but it's all like founders of Solana projects together
Mhm.
in a retreat where they
Oh, I
work.
know.
Where they,
There's Solana House in Bali.
yes, well,
Oh yeah.
that's what they're doing there, and also like
Yeah.
he was also in the founders villa here in Dubai. And we were one of the winners, by the way, of the season, which is pretty cool. But
Nice.
yeah, so they're doing all that stuff, and he also says, and I feel that, of course, as well, even though I don't go to these things, but it's different. It's different, and I think that increases the chances of the first killer app with 1 billion users being built on Solana. I think that chance is pretty high, but it still needs to happen, right? So I think the odds are in favor of Solana. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I see. And before actually gonna move forward to the next question, like what I also wanted to ask, what do you think gonna be the next narrative, next big thing? Because we saw like I also wanted to touch it like before going to narrative, like about Ton ecosystem, because Ton was loud. They were literally everywhere with the entire Telegram hype, with all the TMAs, with all the meme coins, with their tap to earn games that were launching, like entire community. We remember Hamster Combat to 100 million real users. That was massive. And right now I kind of felt this, slow down moment for Telegram, but last week Pavel Durov announced it that Ton is actual general partner of Telegram when it comes to blockchain, and all other blockchains will be banned in Telegram. Like when it comes to running, I think it's kind of controversial because all the time Telegram was screaming about having the freedom of speech, freedom of everything, and do not act like Apple. And actually, they did act like Apple, but they need to help their bros, of course. I feel it. But do you think that Ton still has the chance to grow their TVL drastically and become like the direct competitor of Solana, or Solana is taking over and nobody will have a chance to compete with them?
That's really, really interesting because, of course, we need to keep in mind how many users Telegram has, and I think it is nearly at 1 billion right now, if I'm not mistaken. So it is actually like a huge platform. But what they did with like banning these other blockchains on Telegram, I think it's a really wrong move. And maybe it's a move out of despair because they see that all attention goes in the last, for Solana, it's already going on for a longer time. But then the attention is also going to Sui, for example, who's growing very quickly, and they're not getting so much love anymore. So it might be like a desperate attempt to protect themselves and say like, okay, we have this app with 1 billion users and nobody else can try to take them away from us. But if that's going to be like have the opposite effect, I don't know. I think that's a gamble that they take. It can turn out to be a good decision. It can turn out to be like a devastating decision. But I think it's a coin flip right now for Ton. So either I think in a year from now, Ton will be completely irrelevant, or it will turn out to be the right decision, and they found ways to really get this 1 billion users on their chain, and then they won. But I think it's a risky one.
Yeah, I
So
totally agree with you. That it's a huge coin flip. And the worst part that I see right now in the community, that Ton enthusiasts who were actually screaming about Ton from all the speakers like half a year ago right now feel kind of desperate. They're already, now that loud. They are not that bullishing on it. So I just hope that Ton Foundation or any other companies based on Ton will bring something loud, will bring something exciting to the table, that all the people who've been building on Ton for past like couple of years will actually tell them, all right, I need to continue doing this thing. I need to stay in this ecosystem. Because otherwise, yeah, Base is strong. Solana is strong right now. We shouldn't forget about ETH still, all the L2 solutions in there. And, it's going to be tough. So like, let's just see how it's going to happen. And yeah, and about the narrative, what do you think going to be the next big narrative on this market?
I think AI will keep on dominating for the rest of the cycle, to be honest. It's a very evident thing to say. I wish I had something more exciting to say, but yeah, I think that's written in the stars. Like what I look at, maybe that's interesting to say. Like how I look for new narratives is also to look at what is hot in Web 2. I learned over the last 8 years in crypto that often it comes or it starts the narrative starts in Web 2 and then it continues in crypto. It comes to Web 3 immediately. So as long as AI dominates Web 2 and technology in Web 2, it will also keep on dominating Web 3. And it can be like with AI agents and so on, or like very specific niches within AI. That's possible, but I think like the AI narrative is the most important one. And then next to that, I would say like in terms of the killer app, I think we need to look at consumer applications. It's very hard to say which one, but I think the biggest or the one of the best tries for building a killer app with 1 billion plus users was actually Steppen. That was one of the best tries. Why? Because a lot of just Web 2 people who don't know anything about Web 3, they started using Steppen. And it was like something, an application you could use and you don't even know that you're using Web 3. So something like this needs to be like the killer app. So consumer apps, I think, will gain like more traction again, especially towards the end of the cycle. And real world assets, all types of real world assets, the tokenization of all kinds of physical things in the in the regular world, let's say, like real estate and so on, and cars, and these things I think are also going to be more and more important.
Yeah, I see. And like maybe it's a little bit tricky one, but like capture it. Like I personally have the feeling that Elon will bring the same thing to Twitter as was brought to Telegram. So Twitter mini apps, do you think it's actually possible and that is going to be the next big thing? Because I personally have this feeling that, they just losing so much. Like all the crypto bros are on X. X is literally like the biggest browser for all the crypto data, for all the information, for all the news, for all the conversations. And why shouldn't they just bring the same thing? Like, this browser, it just a page where you open the browser app inside of your Twitter and it just works. And so all the crypto projects can shield their projects on X, open this app on X, have the interaction inside of X. And so basically it becomes the super app. And I have this feeling that Elon is not just, the regular guy. And we all see it. Like, man, he's just launching the rockets to Mars and, brings them back to Earth. Like, the guy is crazy. So, this entire thing about making X the super app. And I think I remember something like that he was saying on the media before, like maybe 1.5 years ago, that X is the potential super app. So, bringing apps inside of X feels like, very, very clear thing for me. And so do you think it's actually going to happen? Or let's say Apple or, like maybe some regulations and something like that will stop it and it's not going to happen?
I actually honestly did not think about it too much yet, but it makes a lot of sense that this will happen eventually, and also because we know that X is the go-to platform for crypto people. Of course, Telegram as well, but Telegram is purely for chatting, while on X there is much more going on. So it would make a lot of sense that he does that, and you're also right. Like Elon said in the beginning, when he bought back then Twitter. That he wants it to be like this super app, this all-in-one application which you can do everything. So it would make a lot of sense that if they want to do something with Web3, that this is the next move, to do some mini apps indeed on X. Would be really cool actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I personally feel like this, like, this chain, Solana and X together, like, how we see like Telegram and Taunt, man, if we're gonna see X plus Solana combination, oh my God, so many extremely great projects are gonna happen. And then Anatoly, the founder of Solana, will be right. Next 1 billion
Yeah.
project will actually be made on Solana because this combination is going to bring a lot of traffic, a lot of
Yeah.
people. All the guys who were just, buying Trump, even through the Trump's page, not through blockchain, they still going to see it inside of Twitter. You adding very, very user-friendly UX and UI, and oh my God, it's going to be something different. So, I'm keeping my finger on this red launch your project on X mini apps button. So I'm like, Elon, please, like, let's mark it down. Half a year, Twitter mini apps, please. Like, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We all need it because it's gonna be the massive boost for the community, and crypto gonna be just literally everywhere. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's see how it's gonna happen. And the next topic that I wanted to discuss, because we've been touching Trump a lot, and we've been touching government and everything. And what do you think gonna happen with regulations? Because in past 7 days, Trump has announced so many things about crypto that right now, I don't know how even more massive it could become. And what's your opinion? What we're gonna see when it comes to regulations in the upcoming year?
Yeah, I think this has started now, definitely. But I also think that the US is a little bit late to the party, even because you see that all the crypto companies, they all went to Dubai or they went to Singapore, Hong Kong, these places. But there are not too many in the US, so they're trying to like revive that or like bring it back to all these regulations and so on. But I don't know, like in to what extent they will be able to save that, because there's also a thing of taxes and so on. And I mean, like
Hmm.
all these people in all these crypto companies in Dubai, you have like free zones with only crypto projects, crypto
Yeah.
companies here. Um, so yeah, I mean, so they are a bit late to the party anyway. But it's good that he does that still. I mean, it would be stupid to continue on the same way that the Biden administration handled the Web3 industry. So I think it was needed, but if it's going to be like a really big change, I don't know. I don't know. I think
Hmm.
the base of Web3 is already pretty much determined in the UAE, especially. And then we have Europe, of course. So I think like UAE
Yeah.
is number one. I think the US is right now establishing itself as the, let's say, number two.
Number
Okay,
two.
you have
Yeah.
like UAE together with Singapore and Hong Kong. And then I think you at number two you have the US. They're becoming crypto friendly. They're doing these things. They want to attract like companies. Again, I don't know up to what extent it will work. And then you have the European Union, the Internet Explorer of regulations. I don't know what these guys have been doing. They will completely miss it again. And I've been personally talking with some commissioners who were going over the crypto regulations in the European Union, called
Hmm.
MiCA regulations. There were also two people who were responsible for writing it. I don't want to expose this person too much, but it was a horrible experience. And some other commissioners literally said, like, what are you guys even trying? The banking industry is too powerful anyway. Literally, like a
Hmm.
commissioner from the European Parliament, like one of the most powerful guys in the European Parliament, just told us that, like, yeah, there's no point, guys. They're too powerful, whatever. So when we tried to talk with one of these two people who wrote the MiCA regulations, or like put it all together, all the research, they just tried to like talk as little as possible with us and like postpone appointments and so on until it was announced. And then I exposed her, because both two of them were actually women. So I exposed her on Twitter, and it was like I literally had like a Twitter fight with her. But basically, what happened is they have a hands-on approach instead of a hands-off approach. Basically, they're chasing away all the Web3 companies with all the regulations that they do. Is like, okay, first we're going to implement regulations, and then you can try to go from regulation to regulation and try your way. Like you can try to do some business here in the European Union, but it's like you can compare it with, for example, a street with 40 traffic lights, and you just hope that as little as possible are on red. Otherwise you need to wait all the time. That is what's happening in the European Union, and what is happening in the US right now is a hands-off approach. And that is like the same street, with instead of 40 you have 5 traffic lights. So you will be definitely faster. You'll
Yeah.
definitely be faster.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
true.
people, but the people with the 40 traffic lights, they also are going to prefer a street without any traffic lights at all, which is the UAE. So
Exactly.
exactly.
Like,
So they're
dear
going
European
to
Union, you guys have autobans. Germany, you know what
yeah,
autoban is. Implemented to your regulations. Like, why are you
yeah.
stopping businesses from growing? You're just missing the opportunity.
Crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
getting
They're
more and more
chasing it away.
complicated to run crypto companies in Europe, and literally everyone is registering companies in Dubai, somewhere out of here, even though the talents here are extremely great. Like I know so many people born in Europe who live in Europe who actually have, they geniuses in Web3.
Yeah.
And we all would love to build our companies here, to stay here, and to do it as long as possible. But European Union is just blocking it, and I don't understand why. It's just the missing opportunity, and then a couple of years later, people are gonna see and ask why. Why did the failure of European Union happen? And like this is one of the reasons, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like it comes down to that the European Union is chasing away brains, talent, entrepreneurship, and capital.
Yeah.
They're chasing that away. It's not staying in Europe anymore. To my knowledge, in Belgium, there's literally no crypto company anymore. They all left. And even the crypto people like me, like KOLs and other people who are full-time crypto, they're being bullied away in Belgium specifically, because every nation state implements it in a different way. I'm not going too deep into that, but what they asked made it impossible for me to even work in crypto.
Mhm.
So literally one day to another, I literally just decided like, okay, this is enough.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Bye-bye. And then again, I mean, it's the same thing. Like they chase away entrepreneurship, they chase away capital. Like it's just so stupid, and I cannot comprehend it because they did the exact same thing in the dot-com boom of technology. They did the exact same thing. And if you look to the top 100 companies right now, Dimitri, there's 40 technology companies in this top 100 coming from the US.
Yeah.
There is, I think, 12 or 13 right now from China, and Europe has two. Two technology companies are still from the European Union. All the rest, they missed.
They
Basically,
missed it.
Switzerland alone has more tech companies in the top 100 than the European Union together. How
Yeah.
sad is that? They just missed this entire .com. They made the analysis what went wrong. Exactly the street with 40 traffic lights kind of thing. That they made that analysis, and they're doing the exact same thing right now with Web3, but also with AI. They're doing it all over again, and then they will indeed, like you mentioned, in 10, 15 years from now, they will be like, hey, but why is our continent looking like this? Why is there no entrepreneurship? Why is there no capital? Why are we getting poor?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we bring more immigrants here, but we're bringing less capital here. Like,
Yeah.
why is that so? And yeah, and this is like the thing. I love Europe. I love the atmosphere here. I love the people here. I love the climate. I love the cities. I love like everything. But I'm just scared, man. Then like one decade up front, there will be nothing. And like this is like the biggest scare of mine. I just hope that new talents will come to politics here and will actually be driving something more interesting. Because I see right now that Poland is, which is like, man, I love Poland. Poland is becoming the next like center of Europe, in my personal opinion. More and more capital is flowing here. So I just hope that Polish politicians will not be stupid and actually make this thing up and running. And I see that local communities doing a bunch of things to actually push the thing forward. And like, let's make Europe great again.
Yeah, but you're right about Poland. It will be like probably like the new center of Europe. I agree. They're the only ones that have people that still want to move forward, that have like good regulations, that don't have like some other problems that most of Europe have with immigration and so on. Because we need to be realistic, especially where I'm from in Belgium. It's like a huge problem
Yeah.
as well. For example, the crypto conference last year, there in ETC, there will never be a crypto conference anymore in Belgium. After that, anyway, there's like a lot of stuff happened there as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems that Europe has, but the biggest problem is that politicians are like non-elected politicians are deciding everything right now in Europe and European Union, and nation states who don't want to follow the orders from the non-elected politicians, they're getting punished. Like, for example, Poland, the amount of sanctions that they get from the European Union for not following some of their rules, it's insane. Then you think like, okay, it starts there, but this is not able to change as long as they're non-elected. They're just being appointed.
And don't you think that there's also a lack of transparency for the politicians? Because like I want this thing to be stopped, that politicians are some untouchable, like, God
Mm,
feeling like people. I think that politicians should be, as transparent as we all are, for example. And so, like having, let's say, the third guest here on the podcast being from European Parliament or something like that. And we can, ask them straightforward, why is it happening like this? What they're expecting, what they are planning. And so, kind of putting this seed of being more open and more transparent to them. This is what should happen. And I
yeah,
love it about, let's say, also like mentioning Poland. You probably saw all over TikTok, they Polish politicians go to podcasts saying aloud their
yeah.
opinions. Don't hesitate to be controversial. And I
Mhm.
love it because people want to see honesty. People want to see people who are the actual people, not some robots. And
Yeah,
it feels more and more artificial here. And I'll just keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be stopped. And yeah, let's
that's
see.
so,
I think Trump will change it, but like
yeah.
we'll see how it's gonna happen.
How I can talk like a separate podcast about this political situation in Europe. Let's not do that for now. Let's keep it
Yeah, I mean, I'm always
limited.
trying to avoid political things. Like it's just so interesting. And, it affects the market a lot. And so, when we start talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, more, please.
Yeah, I have the same thing, man. I have the same thing.
Let's jump into more kind of low key thing and AI. We all heard about DeepSeek, and man, like what is happening on the market? Do you really think that guys have built it, make it just having just $5 million in their account, or it's all like conspiracy theory that Chinese government had this plan since forever because US market is taking over entire AI, and right now China has to penetrate it and make a loud announcement about them. So do you really think that guys only use $5 million to make the copy of Chat GPT themselves, or it's kind of more underneath?
I don't know. It sounds very crazy to build something like this with only like I think indeed like $5 million. It sounds insane, but on the other hand, it's also China. I mean, it's cheaper, cheaper labor. Maybe these people just work harder, longer. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
Asian mentality is different, man. Like,
yeah,
people
exactly.
there, like, if in Europe, 8 hour shift, after 8 hours, boom, you never see me again.
Yeah.
These guys are working
Yeah,
hard.
exactly. There's different work ethic. They don't have a problem with for a few months they work like 14 hours per
Yeah,
day and
like,
they
and
don't
it's
earn
just
that
like,
much
yeah,
money.
14 hours, like that's easy. I can work 24 hours if
Yes,
I need.
exactly. Exactly. So it's a different mentality. So it's possible for us as Western people, like from Europe, from the US. It's very hard to believe, but I think it's possible that they indeed. I don't know why they would lie. Now, of course, it's going to be like a strategic lie, of course, that they lie about that. But yeah, I think the most crazy thing is that this thing that is it's only valued at like 100 or 150 million dollars right now. And actually, a few days ago, I made a tweet which a lot of crypto people did not like. Did not like. But anyway, I said like most things in crypto right now have fully diluted values that are complete vaporware, that are based on nothing, on fake numbers, fake users, whatever. They're launching complete vaporware at higher valuations as something that is completely changing or like letting the technological space like shake on its fundamentals. It's crazy. Like it's very very small. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you compare it to the valuations in crypto, I mean, we need to be honest. It's a different world out here in crypto anyway.
Yeah, but actually, like, I I assume you saw like how it affected AI crypto sector as well, because entire AI sector has fallen down, and the crypto AI sector has also fallen down. What do you think is the potential future of AI and crypto right now? Is it actually opening more opportunities for crypto projects to develop, and we'll see more and more AI based projects that are not just shouting AI at their title, but actually bringing some useful AI tools on the market, or are we still going to continue with this meme token based AI projects?
I think that it might start a new run for AI projects. We saw the same thing happening with the actual release of ChatGPT back in, I think it was November 2023, if I'm not wrong. And then afterwards, the months after that, the AI projects in crypto did like extremely well. They had a huge run up with like 10x, 15x returns. But I think the same thing can happen right now. As I said, it's dominating the traditional Web2 space, so I believe it will keep on dominating the Web3 space as well. So it's opening doors, and I think the marriage between AI and crypto is perfect because we have blockchain technology, and what is blockchain technology best at is like processing or doing things with data and automation and transparency and storage and you name it. So it's a perfect, like AI is also like purely database. So blockchain and AI is like perfect, working perfectly together. So yeah, I think it's opening new doors for innovation in the crypto space. I think the narrative has found like renewed energy both in Web 2 as in Web 3. So I think it's only a good thing. Maybe the DeepSeek launch was also the pivotal moment between the meme coin and focusing back to the actual use cases, the utility tokens in crypto. So hopefully it would be a good thing, in my opinion.
Hopefully, we will see.
Yeah.
Actually, like I'm still very bullish on AI sector. Like the biggest concern for me is like, aren't we gonna be taken over by AI? Because as Elon said, AI can be smarter than the entire humanity, and what's gonna like. I don't want to live in this Terminator movie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, keeping our fingers crossed that Skynet will not kill us all.
Let's hope so. That would be a good thing if that didn't happen.
All
Positive.
right. And let's come to one of the final questions that I have for today. Like, I really wanted to talk to you about that because I've been reading through your Twitter, man, and I see, huge expertise when it comes to cycles. So, what do you think? On which part of a cycle are we right now? And is the pattern repeating from last runs? Or actually, this bull run is way different from everything that we had before just because of the political things and because of how the market is changing? What do you think?
I personally think that's okay. So first of all, let's go back a little. I think that's very important to explain to people watching this. So these cycles were always moving in 4 years because of the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving always made a supply shock, which made like demand and supply go out of balance, and the price went up. And then the psychological snowball effect upwards started, of course, and that made like the parabolic move starting. So basically, we had another Bitcoin halving in April of last year, in April 2024. And since that time, or around that time, even a little before that, we saw Bitcoin going towards new all-time highs with the ETFs being launched in January of last year. Then we had the halving in April. So we see that the same thing is playing out again. Like we see that we're gearing up. Then we had Trump election in November. We saw Bitcoin going towards 100K. That's where we are right now. So I think the cycle is perfectly playing out again as it should in the 4-year cycle narrative, actually, that there is. But I think it will be the last one. Two reasons for that is, first of all, the Bitcoin halvings will not have the same impact anymore. We have such a big volume right now in the crypto space, and also these halvings, it's just like 3.125 Bitcoin per block, basically right now, the block reward, which before it was like a lot higher, like there was a higher inflation amount. Like right now it's below 1% per year. That's not a lot anymore. The impact of that is really just taken away by the high volumes that we see. So basically, Bitcoin halving will not have an impact anymore going forward. So that means that the cycles will not be stuck anymore towards in that thing of supply and demand being brought out of balance. That will not happen anymore. But I also think the second reason is that I think we will really see a major bubble this year. I'm pretty pessimistic about that, and I know that a lot of people don't want me to talk about that, but this space is really becoming a huge bubble. And one of the reasons is, or one of the things that we see why that is the valuations. Again, like what I just mentioned with DeepSeek, it's valued at $150 million, something that is completely revolutionary. like shaking the entire technological industry. And then we have complete vaporware in crypto being launched at higher valuations than this.
Yeah.
This is not sustainable. Like having another 5,000 projects being launched like this year and getting a lot of people wrecked eventually in the bear market, this will be like a bubble that needs to pop. But I do think that this bubble will continue for some time. I don't believe that we're at the top at all, because we still need to see some certain retail mania. That's not here yet. We slowly see retail coming back, but there's no mania. We don't see like this euphoria sentiment and so on. But I do believe that we're going extremely high this year. At the end of the year, we'll probably see like a bubble being popped. And I believe that we will see an extended bear market for some time, because I think the crypto space really need a purge from all these projects that are complete vaporware and having extreme valuations. And they need to be wiped out. Like, there's only a few projects, in my opinion, that need to be surviving this bubble. And of course, everyone can have their try, but if by the end of the year and the time after that you're not proving yourself to have like a viable product, I don't think we will see the same extent of a bubble anymore going forward. So these two things, together with the Bitcoin halving, I think are the main reasons. Two reasons why I think it's the last time that we see the 4-year cycle. And the next one, I don't know how long it will be, like maybe 6 years, maybe 8 years. I do think we will see like higher highs, but I think it will be like a more select group of tokens or coins. Like Bitcoin will keep on growing, in my opinion. Solana, Ethereum, like these ones, they are here to stay. No worries about that. But I think all the rest needs a really good purge after this year, because the valuations are already insane right now, and we're not even at mania stage yet.
And what do you think about the projects that are actually bringing the service to the people, like, very utility-based projects? So let's say Ascolo, for example, because, like I've been testing our card for past month almost already. And, like it just became my daily card. I don't use my banks no more. I just use Colo because, it's very easy. I just top my wallet up. I just go to my local store and pay with my card. And do you think that even when the bull cycle is going to be finished, people are still going to use crypto as payments? Because I saw the report for past year for stable coin payments all around the world, and it's massive, man. Because right now, like, if you want to make inner country bank transfer, it just take ages. It's very complicated. You need to have it all. And I just see right now people are just making transfers through stable coins. You just send your USDT or you send crypto, and it's that easy. And so, as far as you're already storing your money in crypto, it's way easier to spend your money in crypto. And don't go to your local, exchange, the physical one, or, somewhere else. You just, take your crypto card and pay with your crypto card. What do you think of it? Is it having any future, in your opinion? And of course, you can be critical, like if you think that, it's trash and, it's not going to work out, you can say it aloud. I just want to hear your opinion on that, like how it's going to happen in the future.
No, I think that is definitely something that I believe will stay. I'm also using my crypto most of the time to just do my daily payments and do whatever. It's just easier to stay within the ecosystem. And I mean, even with a cards, they just receive their dollars or euros or whatever currency it is, and you pay with your crypto. That's perfect. So I also do it, and I think there is definitely a huge use case for things like this. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're definitely gonna send you the car when it's gonna go live. Your personalized one, especially for Quinten.
Perfect. That's good.
All right. And let's maybe go to the final, like last part of our actual podcast today. And I can say that as a podcast, man, like 1 hour went like that. So, to bring a little haha at the end of our conversation, what's your favorite crypto joke? Maybe some kind of meme or narrative or something that makes you laugh. I remember in recent Binance interview, I just had this thing that I had to ask people to make me laugh, and if they make me laugh in 30 seconds, they send me I send them 20 USDT. And some guy just told me, like, I love XRP, and man, I just died. I don't know why. And like, do you have anything from crypto that makes you laugh like 24/7?
Man, I just love the GMs all the time. I think it's just so ridiculous that we are even like with what's supposed to be like professional context, everyone is just sending each other
Yeah.
GMs. Sorry, I think that's amazing. Like I was showing someone recently like a group chat that I had with it was for a project which I invested in for their KOL HQ, let's say. And the project did not start yet. So basically what the KOLs did, and like other people who were in the group, it was not only KOLs, but other people as well, like 100 people or so. Like just every day, everyone had posted like GM, 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 GM. And then the day was over. Then the next day again, everyone like
Yeah.
GM.
Yeah.
Like the fuck is this shit? I mean, like, I find it like so random, so ridiculous. I love it. I love it. But even like in emails, you send emails to like CEOs and founders of big projects, and they or you go in a Telegram group and they just say like GM Quinten. I mean, like that's how
Yeah.
do you explain that to people? You know, like outside of crypto, it's not
Nobody could
explainable.
understand it, man. Yeah. It's
So yeah,
impossible.
that's my favorite. I love it. I love it.
We need to check Dex Screener if there are any GM token already on Solana. If there's
Yeah.
there's no GM token, I'm launching it today.
There's probably around 1,000, I guess.
Yeah. Biggest narrative in the crypto market.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fair. And Quinten, it was amazing conversation, and like I personally gained a lot for myself from it. But maybe you have any final words for our listeners? Any kind of teachings, any kind of stuff that actually gonna keep this thing in people's mind that all right, I got some leverage from the stream that I just watched. I make myself more educated. I got some insights from crypto market. And right now I have, the arrow that points where should I go to.
I think like most of the things we covered, and I think most of the things I said, but one thing maybe that I want to add is that this is definitely the year to also start looking for taking some money out of the markets. Don't let the market take away your profits again, because like a lot of people in the past cycles, they forgot to take profits. But don't be delusional and believe that will keep on going forever. Just pay yourself regularly, take out some profits. Don't get too greedy, because this is the year 2025 is the year that you need to start taking profits. Otherwise, you're going to end up empty-handed. So I think that's a very important one. And also don't wait too long with that, and don't want to do it all in one go. Just spread it out a little bit, take your profits, invest in fundamentally strong projects, and also be careful with smaller projects. I'm just going to talk from personal perspective. I put 80% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink combined. And if you add Solana, it's 90%. So these four have 90% of my portfolio basically. And so 10% is for some more risky plays, but for the rest, for the peace of mind, it's good to stay with these big ones.
Yeah, not a financial advice, of course, guys, but yeah, I fully agree here. Most of my wallet is, just Solana, Ethereum, BTC. And it's actually interesting that you keep something in Chainlink that, like I need to have a look at them because, yeah, it's basically one of the most like base projects on the market. And I love guys from Chainlink. They're extremely exciting. I love their team. I love what they're doing marketing wise. As for the Oracle protocol, like, they just doing it amazing. That's great. That's great, man. And of course, from my side, guys, I will mention, as I always do, and I will keep saying it hundreds and millions of times, that do your own freaking research. Go to X, follow Quinten, follow people who Quinten follow myself, follow Colo, follow all the KOLs who you think have on their mind something, and always check twice. Check twice the information, listen to your inner feeling, align it with the actual macro economical factors that are happening right now, and just do your research. Don't be that stupid guy who's just checking the signals on Telegram and buying it on a signal. Do your own research, guys. All right. And basically, We just had an extremely cool conversation, touched all the hype topics that are happening around the market right now, had some predictions for the future, showed some gems, guys. Because, if you watch the stream all around once again, I think that, a bunch of things that we just discussed gonna happen in the upcoming future. I have this feeling, and, prove me being wrong in 1 year. So, Quinten, thank you so much for joining me here today. It was extremely cool conversation. I love the entire expertise that you shared here today. And, I feel like I was, on the lesson myself and learned something for me. This entire thing about cycles, you've been here in the market for a lot of, like, for a huge period of time. And, like, we should definitely learn from you and, kind of take over your expertise. And yeah, basically looking forward to have you more often on the streams, on X Spaces, and everywhere around. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And maybe, some final word for the listeners before we actually finish with the stream.
Nah, I just want to thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. So I'm happy to be here again in the future.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Love your energy. Love the vibe that we had here today. And yeah, looking forward to have more of this kind of cozy and chill conversation as we had today. And thanks, of course, to all the listeners who were here with us today. And remember, guys, do your own research.